श्रीरङ्गनाथशिरगोपीतं द्रष्टुं लक्ष्मीं नृसिंहशतकरुणैकपात्रं श्रीरङ्गवीररघुराक्षरगोपरुजं वेदान्तदेशिकं प्रपद्ये श्रीमते श्रीवंशगोपश्रीवेदान्तदेशिकं नमः देशिकाय नमः। केशवारिकृपापात्रं कृष्णमरिगुणान्नवं शेषतारिनिशानां देशिकेन भजे रामानुजपात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम् लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयमनमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् यो नित्यमच्युतमभुजयुग्मरुक्म व्यामोहत तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोः भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्रीमते श्रीवंशगोपश्रीवेदान्तदेशिक इति नमः देशिकाय नमः। श्रीविश्वामित्रगोत्रभूषणैः अनन्तकल्याणगुणाकरैः श्रीरङ्गराजदिव्याज्ञालब्धा वेदान्ताचार्यपदैः कवितार्किकसिंह इति प्रख्यातगुणमाख्यैः सर्वतन्त्रस्वतन्त्रैः श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यैः श्रीमन्निगमान्तमहादेशिकैः सकललोकजीवनाय श्रीरङ्गनाथ पादुका सहस्रम्। नरे 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 नरे
चैतन्य वेदांत देशिक पदाब्ज ब्रह्मं नारायण कृपाभिषिक्तं श्रीरंगनाथ देशिकलब्धबोधं श्रीकृष्ण देशिकं प्रपद्ये श्रीमते
महादेशिकाय नमः।
अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः सर्वगुरुभ्यो नमः।
नरे 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 पादुका सहस्रम. We are doing chapter number Paduka Sahasram. We are doing chapter number 8. Chapter 8 we did up to 15 verses. The last verse we did was प्रथयतुमभिषेकं पादुके तव कीनं दुर्दशमनदक्षे दुन्दुभौ ताड्यमाने सपदि परिगृहीतं साध्वसं देवि नूनं दशवदनवधूनां दक्षिणैर्नेत्रकोशैः. I hope you remember last time I said omens, if something good or bad is going to happen, they say we get some kind of indications. For a woman, if the right eye is twitching, that indicates something bad is going to happen. For a woman, if the left eye is twitching, it indicates something good is going to happen. For a man, if the left eye is twitching, something bad is going to happen. For a man, if the right eye is twitching, something good is going to happen. So, as Paduka Devi's Pattabhishekam was going on, the trumpets were there beaten. And the trumpets, the sound from the trumpets is capable of eliminating every kind of ashubham, inauspiciousness. So, this is going to remove all inauspiciousness. But what happened? As the trumpets are beaten here, over there in Lanka, all the ladies of Ravana, their right eyes started to twitch. That becomes a source of imminent fear to all those demons. Dakshinaihi netrakoshaihi dashavadana vadhunam. Dashavadana, the 10-headed monster, Ravana. Vadhunam, he had so many ladies. So the trumpets beating was so loud. Generally, like, in marriages, at the time of Mangalasutra Dharana, they say Gatti Melam, the drums, the Nadaswaram, everything will be there at the top of their voice. Because they say sneezing at that time is an inauspiciousness. Even if somebody sneezes, nobody will notice it because the trumpets are there, beaten at such a high decibel. Same thing here. So the trumpets were sounded, which are capable of eliminating all inauspiciousness. And that trumpets made the right eyes of Ravana's ladies to twitch. And that indicates an immediate fear. Something is going to happen. So, when something good is going to happen, something good for the good people, something bad for the bad people, for all the people of Ayodhya, that was a great indication that even though Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra is in the forest, he was so merciful to send his Padakas to take care of them. That is the good side of it. The bad side of it, for all the people of Sri Lanka, Ravana's place, that is there indicating something bad is going to happen. So in the next verse, namely the 16th verse, Raghupati pada rakshe ratnapithe yadatvam akhila bhuvana manyam abhyasinchat vasishtah dashamukha mahishibhihi devi bhashpayitaabhihi sthana yugam abhishektum takshanat anvamamsthaha. Raghupati Padarakshe. Raghupati, Lord Sri Rama's Padarakshe, the Padakas always in attention to protect his feet. Hey Sri Ramachandra Padakas, as soon as Brahmashi Vasishta performed your coronation, placing you the most worshipful one by all the worlds on the Simhasanam, you gave the go-ahead. For what? That Ravana Vadha is just only a few days away. And how do we know that? Abhishekam is going on here, but over there, another Abhishekam is going on in Sri Lanka. What was it? The tears from the eyes of the ladies of Ravana were there pouring down torrentially. Looks as though they are making another Abhishekam for all the chest of the ladies. The tears were rolling down as though they are making an Abhishekam on their chest. That means here, Bhagavan's Pattabhishekam, Paduka's Pattabhishekam, directly indicating imminent danger to the ladies of Ravana. Abhishekam here to the Padukas. Abhishekam there to the chest of all the ladies. And Vasishtha Maharshi kept Paduka Devi on the royal Simhasanam. Akhila Bhuvana Manyam. The Padukas of Lord Sri Rama are worshipped by all the people in all the worlds. Here Paduka Pattabhishekam. Over there for Ravana's ladies. Sthana Yugam Abhishektam. Torrential pouring down of the tears from the ladies is doing Abhishekam for their chests. Means when somebody is dead, people cry. When they cry, tears will roll down. And for the ladies, it fall on their chest. It looks as though there is Abhishekam going on there. Bashpayitabihi. Bashpa means tears. So Ravana's death is just imminent. It is only a matter of a little time, that's all. It may happen in one day, it may happen in a few days, but Ravana's death is certain. And that is indicated by the Pattabhishekam of Paduka Devi. Nobody could stop it. And every one of them are aware that nobody can save Ravana. And you know, that is what actually Hanuman has given in unequivocal terms. When Hanuman made a trip to Lanka, searching for Sita Devi in Sundarakanda, after conveying the message of Rama to Sita Devi, giving Rama's ring to Sita Devi, getting her Chudamani to be shown to Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra, Hanuman resorted to ruining the Ashokavanam only to capture the attention of Ravana so that he can have a glimpse of Ravana and give him all the best advice. Unfortunately, he could not take it. Where Hanuman was so bold to declare, Ravana, you are thinking that you are so great, that you are powerful. Your son is so great and powerful. He defeated Indra, so Rama cannot kill you. Remember, if Rama decides to kill you, Brahma Swayambhu Chaturananova, Rudro Trinetraha Tripurantakova, Indro Mahendro Sarnayakova, Tratum Nastatum Yudhi Rama Vadhyam. If Rama decided to kill you, Brahma, four-faced one, self-born, cannot protect you. Rudra, one with three eyes, one is Tripura, who is called Tripurantaka, cannot save you. Indra, king of heavens, Mahendra, cannot save you. Rama decided to kill you, that's it, you will die. Better you surrender to Rama. That is the message of Hanuman. Now, in the next verse he says, Ramastrani nimittamatra mihate labdhabhisheka swayam rakshastat kshapayam chakar bhavati bhadrasanasthayini yad doshna mativela darpadavadhu ज्वालोष्मलानां तदा निष्पिष्टैः करधौत शैलशिखरैः कर्पूरचूर्णायितम्. रामास्त्राणि निमित्तमात्रमिहते लब्धाभिषेका स्वयं. रक्षस्तत्क्षपयां चकार भवति भद्रासनस्थायिनी यद्दोष्णामतिरेल दर्पदवधु ज्वाल उष्मलानां तदा निष्पिष्टैः करधौत शैलशिखरैः कर्पूरचूर्णायितम्. A very difficult verse actually, but for Mahatma Vedanta Deshika nothing. Hey Paduka Devi, it is your sankalpam. Sankalpam means resolution, that you made the decision. It is your sankalpam, Paduka Devi, that killed Ravana. And if it is Paduka Devi's sankalpam that killed Ravana, what about all the astras and shastras that Rama used? All the missiles, Brahmastra, etc., released by Sri Rama are just instrumental only. Because the Kailasa mountain peaks that were crushed by the arrogant Ravana's hands became like camphor powder sprinkled on you as you were seated on the royal throne during your coronation ceremony, Pattabhishekam at Ayodhya. When they do Pattabhishekam, they do Churna Abhishekam. Churna means powder. They take beautiful camphor, make it powder, and do the Abhishekam with the camphor powder. This Ravana was so arrogant. Once he tried and he lifted Kailasa Parvatam. And as he lifted, some of the peaks of Kailasa mountain were there crushed. Well, he made a mistake, and that itself ruined Ravana. So, all those crushed pieces of the mountain became like the powder of Karpuram for Paduka Devi's Pattabhishekam. If Paduka Devi made the Sankalpam, that is enough to kill Ravana. Rama using Brahmastra, etc., are just instrumental only. Paduka Devi's Pattabhisheka Karpura Churnam is capable of eliminating Ravana. As you heard the other day, Rama took an arrow to dry up the ocean when ocean did not appear and show him the way to go to Lanka. Mahatma Jishka says, I don't know unnecessarily why Samudra was terrified. Because the Pattabhisheka Tirtham from Paduka Devi got into the rivers Sarayu, etc., and got into the ocean, and that water itself is enough to protect the ocean. Even if Rama would have released the arrow, nothing would have happened. That is the power of the Paduka Pattabhisheka Tirtham. So everything is there linked. Nothing may be visible for us. Over there, Ravana lifting the Kailasa Parvatam. As he lifted, some of the peaks of Kailasa Parvatam got crushed in his hands, which is an offense. The same crushed mountain pieces have become the Karpuram powder used for the Pattabhishekam of Paduka Devi. And that is enough for Paduka Devi to resolve that Ravana has to die. It's a question of time. When you say even Rama's astras are instrumental, why talk about something else? That's why if Rama has decided, nobody can stop. If Paduka Devi decided, even Rama's missiles are not needed. At the time of Pattabhishekam, it was a great sight for all the people to enjoy. Paduka Devi having the Churnabhishekam. Nishpishtaihi kaladhauta shaila shikharaihi karpura churnaitam. Ravana made so many mistakes out of his arrogance. And one such mistake is his attempt to lift Kailasa Parvatam and crush some of the peaks of Kailasa Parvatam. Arrogance in any form is not conducive for spiritual progress. And Ravana's arrogance that he can do anything ended up in deep trouble for Ravana. Same thing is there given in the next verse also. Shrutvaivam Hanuman Mukhadra Ghupatehe Mukhat Raghupatehe Prachagatim Takshanat Asidat Bharata Anuvartana Vashat Arudha Kumbhasthalam. Kalo Nidra Kadushnadana Madira Madhyat Dvirepa Dhvani Shlagha Chatubihi Astutiva Bhavati. Shatrunjayam Kunjaraha. In Ramayana, the royal elephant Shatrunjayam is mentioned quite a few times. The royal elephant used for all processions is Shatrunjayam. Now Mahatma Deshika says, hey Padika Devi, that royal elephant Shatrunjaya heard Hanuman informing Bharata about the arrival of Sri Rama back to Ayodhya after his 14 years of exile, and accompanied by Bharata to welcome him, keeping you on top of his head. The Padukas of Rama are carried by the elephant Shatrunjaya, because those Padukas are to be offered back to Rama. And this Shatrunjayam, the royal elephant, is so healthy. For elephants, an indication of their state of health is the excess fat will be oozing out from their temples, and that will be having a very fine aromatic flavor, madajalam. And for that, all the bees are there flocking around, honey bees, to enjoy that sweet and warm fatty liquid called madajala. It looks as though the humming of the bees was like a pleasant words of welcome. See how Mahatma Vedanta Deshika puts so many things in perspective. Rama has come, has returned, but he stopped at Bharadwaja Maharshi's ashrama. He sent Hanuman to go and inform Bharata not to jump into the fire and wait until he comes, because he is there held up with Maharshi Bharadwaja. When Shatrunjaya, the elephant, heard Hanuman telling Bharata that Rama has returned, that is enough for Shatrunjayam to go into ecstasy, and that Shatrunjayam accompanied Bharata to welcome him, keeping the Padukas on its head. But that Shatrunjaya elephant was so healthy that the warm, fatty liquid called Madajalam oozing out of its temples was a source of attraction for the honey bees. And the honey bees humming is looking like pleasant words of welcome to Paduka Devi. See how many things he could connect. Bharata Anuvartana Vashat Arudha Kumbhastalam. Kumbhastalam, the peaks on the head of the elephant. Chatubhihi astuta eva bhavatim Shatrunjayaha Kunjaraha. Shlagha Chatubhihi. Here we have to understand that even animals have the instinct. Even the royal elephant Shatrunjaya is missing Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra. The minute Shatrunjaya heard Hanuman telling Bharata that Rama's arrival is just imminent, Shatrunjaya rushed to welcome Rama, keeping the divine Padukas of Rama on its Kumbhasthalam on its head. And that Shatrunjayam, which is in rut, oozing out plenty of fatty liquid called Madajalam from its temples, has become a source of attraction for the honeybees. And the honeybees humming was looking like a beautiful welcome. Now comes another verse about the greatness of Paduka Devi. Prajnagatasya bhavatim avalokya bhartuhu padaravinda savidhe bharatopanita purvabhisheka vibhava shuchitam saparyam madhye satam akruta maidhila rajakanya. Maidhila Rajakanya, Sita Devi. Hey Paduka Devi, Bharata brought and placed you, the Padukas, at the lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra when he returned to Ayodhya after his 14 years of exile. Immediately, Maidhila Rajakanya, Sita Devi, offered all due courtesies to you, befitting the exalted status, royal status of earlier Pattabhishekam, in the midst of great sages, Vishwa, Vasishta, etc. See, a very wonderful way of saying. When somebody like a Maharaja comes, everybody has to respect. Now, who is the Maharaja now? Rama did not get Pattabhishekam yet, whereas Paduka Devi already got the Pattabhishekam, so Paduka Devi is the king, is the emperor. When the emperor comes, somebody has to show all the courtesies and respect. And who did it? Sita Devi herself. Because she knows. This is the royal tradition. When a Sarvabhauma comes, all proper courtesy is to be extended to him. Rama is still there with his matted hair, bark clothes, etc. Paduka Devi, the one who had the Pattabhishekam, like a Maharaja, is there. Bharata brought the Padukas and kept them at the feet of Rama to have them and walk to Ayodhya. The minute Paduka Devi is there, Sita Devi extended all the necessary courtesies. Required as per the protocol, royal protocol. That's why they say children's upbringing is very important. In the royal families, they teach their children how to respect, how to extend courtesy, all the royal protocols. Sita Devi, being aware of all the royal protocols, when she saw Padukas being offered at the feet of Lord Rama, she did all the upacharas to Paduka Devi. So Rama's return itself is a source of joy for all the people of Ayodhya. As though it is not enough, the highlight of the day was Mahalakshmi, Sita Devi herself, extending all the courtesy to the Padukas as soon as Padukas were placed in front of Rama's feet. And Sita Devi did not do it as a private ceremony. She did it in public view, in front of all the Maharshis, Vasishta, etc. Mahatma Vedanta Deshika's perfection, mastery over the subject, over the royal traditions, is beyond our imagination. Every minute detail Mahatma Deshika is giving us, including the fatty liquid oozing from the temples of Shatrunjay, which is very aromatic, attracting thousands of honeybees. Honeybees are humming, and the humming of the honeybees is looking like a welcome to the Paduka Devi. See? Bharata never desired the kingdom. He even told his mother Kaikeyi, how much of a sin I would have committed to be born as your son, that the whole world is abusing me, that it is because of Bharata Rama has to go to the forest. Bharata lamented, I wish I am not born. I wish you are not my mother. I wish I could have killed you, Kaikeyi, my mother, for having committed the heinous sin of sending Rama to the forest and indirectly becoming the cause of my father Dasharatha's death. And Bharata goes even to the extent of telling Kaikeyi, that particular Rama whom you sent to the forest, you better thank Rama, because of Rama I'm sparing your life. For the mistakes that you have committed, my dear mother Kaikeyi, you should be put to death. I should have put you to death. I should have given you the death punishment. But I did not do that, because if I do that, Rama will scold me. Don't you know, Bharata, a woman should not be killed? Because I'm afraid of Rama, I'm not giving you the death punishment. So if you're alive, you better thank Rama, whom you have sent to the forest. See Bharata's greatness and nobility. And that Bharata brought the Padukas and placed in front of the divine feet of Lord Sri Rama. Maithila Rajakanya, Sita Devi, immediately offered all courtesies to you. befitting your royal status. And it is not a private ceremony, it is a public ceremony in full view of everyone. In full view of everyone, Sita Devi did the Aradhana to the Padukas. What else we need as a greater testimony for the supremacy of Paduka Devi? That Mahalakshmi Sita Devi herself extended all the courtesy to the Padukas. And now Mahatma Deshka goes further to glorify the Paduka Devi. Sampreksha Maithila Sutta Manipadarakshe प्रत्युद्गतस्य भवतीं भरतस्य मौलौ निर्दिश्य स निभृतम् अञ्जलिना पुरस्तात् तारादिकाः प्रियसखीः आशिषत् प्रणन्तुम्. He diamond-studded padukas of Bhagavan Sri Rama. Bharata came to Sri Rama and Sita Devi to welcome them back to Ayodhya. So when Bharata came to welcome the divine couple, Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra and Sita Devi, to Ayodhya after their return, after the 14 years of exile, Bharata carried them on his head. Sita Devi first offered her respects to you with the folded hands, Anjali, and also instructed her friends. Sita Devi never met Tara, Ruma, etc. But you know what exactly Mahatma Deshika says? Priya Sakhihi Asishat Pranantum. Mahatma Deshika says Tara, Ruma, etc. have become the best friends of Sita Devi. But Sita Devi never met them. So tell me, how did they become friends of Sita Devi? Am I anyone of you? Are you there? Hello, could you hear me?
Yes, Acharya.
Now, Sita Devi did not meet them before. Now, Mahatma Deshika says, Priya Sakhin, Tara Adikaha. Tara, etc. means Tara, Ruma, etc. Well, Sita Devi met them only on the flight. It's like you take friends when you are there in a train. People traveling with you become friends to you. It is Sita Devi who requested Rama to stop in Kishkindha and bring the ladies also to enjoy their Pattabhishekam. Therefore, Tara, Ruma, etc. got into the flight. So during the flight, they became the best friends of Sita Devi. As soon as Bharata took the Padakas from the Kumbhastaram of Shatrunjayam, kept the Padakas on his own head, and walked to Rama and offered the Padakas at his feet, Sita Devi offered all the respects to the Padaka Devi with folded hands, and also instructed her friends, Tara, Ruma, etc. to do so. Now, did you feel something wrong that Tara came in the flight, in the Pushpakam along with Rama, Sita, etc.? Does it ring a bell to you? Any one of you, ma?
Tara is a
Go ahead, ma, talk.
Tara is a widow, right?
Exactly. Very good, Divakar. You got the right point. Tara is a widow. And you know, Pushpaka Vimanam will not allow widows to get into the plane. But how did Tara get into the plane? How do you know that widows are not allowed into the plane? I mean, Pushpaka Vimanam, not today's place, don't mistake it. How do you know that? How do you know that? During the war, Rama was fighting with Ravana. Ravana played some black magic. Ravana played some black magic. He created an impostor Rama, cut off his head, and brought the head and dropped it in front of Sita and tried to fool her. Now your Rama is dead. At least now you better change your mind and marry me. You don't believe me? Get into the Pushpakam and go and see for yourself. Sita, along with Trijata, got into the plane. They came to the battlefield, and in the aerial survey, Sita Devi saw the impostor Rama's dead body on the floor, on the ground, and she was crying. Trijata consoled Sita Devi and said, "This cannot be true because I know this Pushpakam. Pushpakam will not allow a widow to get into the plane. If Pushpakam allowed you to get into the plane, that means your husband is not dead. You are not a widow. Therefore, this fellow should be an impostor. You don't have to worry about it." And as soon as they returned to Ashokavanam, even that imposter's head disappeared because magic will work only for a few minutes. Afterwards, it won't work. So Trijata said, "Look, even the head disappears. Therefore, Rama is alive." So, on that count, Tara's husband, Wali died. Is Tara widow? Then how come Tara got into the plane and became friends with Sita? Even though Wali is dead, Tara, after the death of Wali, married Sugriva. Therefore, she is no longer a widow. So much is there implied by Mahatma Deshika to convey us. How do we know that? Just before the start of Sundarakanda, Sugriva, having deprived of any happiness, driven out of Kishkindha, his own wife Ruma captured by Vali. And when Vali was killed and Sugriva became the king, he got back his wife. In addition, Tara also accepted Sugriva as her husband. So he was enjoying, and he forgot the 2 months of rainy season is over and did not make arrangements for searching for Sita Devi. Rama got so angry and sent Lakshmana. That is when Lakshmana, when he twanged his bowstring, that is enough for Sugriva to just fall onto the ground. The terrifying sound. He did not dare to come and see Lakshmana. He sent Tara to pacify Lakshmana. Tara was there, not even properly dressed, just straight out of the bedroom, and was there in an intoxicated condition and came and tried to pacify Lakshmana. So what we understand by that? Tara by then wedded Sugriva. Therefore, Tara is no longer a widow. And Sita Devi, knowing the royal protocol, not only she did all the pujas, all the pranamas to the Paduka Devi, she instructed all her friends also. Priyasakhihi Ashishat Pranantum. Very wonderful way of Mahatma Deshika handling the subject. Go ahead, sir. You have some questions? Emma, anyone of you?
So, Acharya, widow remarriage was considered dharmam at that.
I told you, during the time of Ramayana, if a brother is dead, the dead person's brother can marry the wife of the dead brother. Is it not what Sita Devi accused Lakshmana of? When Maricha came as a golden deer, Rama chasing it and finally shot an arrow that killed Maricha. While dying, Maricha imitated the voice of Rama and cried out, "Ha Sita, ha Lakshmana." Sita Devi forced Lakshmana to go, and when Lakshmana was refusing, Sita Devi accused Lakshmana that he was waiting for the death of Rama, that he might have got an alliance with Bharata, that Lakshmana himself wanted to kill Rama. But now, if Rama is in trouble and if Rama is dead, Lakshmana, if you are thinking, because you came to the forest, I think, not because you want to serve your brother Rama, but you are interested in me. If that is your intention, that if Rama is dead, that you wanted to marry me and enjoy, never, never even think that is going to happen. I will never allow that to happen. I will rather commit suicide right now rather than allow you to touch me and marry me after your brother's death. You remember that one?
Yes, Acharya.
Divakar, do you remember?
Yes, Acharya. So the question is it dharmam? Was it dharmam at that?
It is not a question of dharmam, that is the tradition. That was certain social traditions change from yuga to yuga. These are the social traditions. During the time of Mahabharata, Draupadi having 5 husbands was accepted. Lord Krishna marrying 8 forms of Mahalakshmi was accepted. Lord Krishna's father Vasudeva marrying 18 women. We know only 2 names, Devaki Devi and Rohini, but there are other 16 ladies also as his wives. They were all acceptable. Only Rama followed Ekapatni Vratam. Rama's own father Dasharatha did not follow. Dasharatha married Kausalya, no children, married Sumitra, no children, married Kaikeyi. So the social traditions were different. Go ahead, Amma. Next question. Amma, anyone of you any questions, Amma?
Narayana Swami. So, if that is accepted both ways, Swami, a younger and elder, both, ante pedda chinna
Exactly.
annaya tammu.
పెద్ద చిన్న తేడా లేదమ్మా. ఓ మధురిమ ఎలా ఉందమ్మా?
బాగున్నాను స్వామి.
అర్థమవుతుందా మేము చెప్పేటువంటిది పాదుకాదేవి గురించి?
అర్థమవుతుంది స్వామి. నేను కొంచెం లేట్‌గా జాయిన్ అయ్యాను. బట్ అర్థమవుతుంది. సో మెనీ న్యూ
Yeah.
థింగ్స్
Could you,
స్వామి.
could you
ఐ
see?
డోంట్
Could you
ఫాలో.
see? Could you see here a very funny way? Elder brother Rama is, suppose Sita Devi is accusing Lakshmana. If your elder brother Rama is dead, Lakshmana, I understand that you came to the forest accompanying Rama not because you want to serve Rama, because you had your eyes on me and you are waiting for an opportunity for Rama to be dead so that you can marry me and enjoy. I will never allow that. I will never allow that. I will rather commit suicide right now itself. And Sita Devi looked around. She could not find a weapon to kill herself. She could not find poison to drink and die. But Sita Devi had beautiful hair, long braided hair. She used her own long braided hair as a noose around her neck and tried to kill herself. That is when Lakshmana Swami decided, my instructions from my brother Rama is to stay here and protect Sita. What did Rama imply by them? Protect Sita from danger of death. But if I stay here for one more second, what is going to happen? Sita is going to hang herself. Then what is the point in my staying here, allowing Sita to die? So if Sita has to be alive, what should I do? I should go away. Therefore, he prayed to the Vanadevatas. There was no Lakshmana Rekha at all in Valmiki Ramayana. He prayed to the Vanadevatas and said, may all the Vanadevatas protect this innocent lady, Sita Devi, who doesn't know what she is talking or what she is doing, and went away. So if the elder brother is dead, the younger brother could marry the elder brother's wife. Vali, the elder brother, is dead. The younger brother Sugriva could marry Vali's wife Tara. Oh my goodness, if you read Valmiki Ramayana, Tara, when Vali was dead, she created such a big scene. Such a big scene. I don't know whether anyone of you remember. Do anyone of you remember what did Tara say that time, sir, when Vali was dead?
She wants to say something.
She wants to?
She wants to commit with the husband. She wants to die.
She wants to die, but you know what she told? What she did? What she said to others? With Vali's dead body in her lap, do you remember what Tara said?
Kill me also, Rama, she said.
Exactly. She begged Rama, Rama, you are a Dharmamurti. My husband cannot live without me. My husband, having died in a battle, will go to Veeraswargam. In Swargaloka, even though there are so many beautiful ladies to entertain him, like Rambha, Urvashi, Menaka, etc., my husband cannot be happy without me. Therefore, I must go along with my husband to make sure that he is happy. How can I go, Rama? My husband is dead, I am alive. Use the same arrow what you used to kill my husband Vali, to kill me also. And you know what she says? Rama, you know, Kanya Danam is so great. Giving an unmarried virgin girl before Pushpavati in marriage is called Kanya Danam. Rama, Kanya Danam is great, but now I am begging you, don't worry about Kanya Danam, do Patni Danam. Means give the wife to the departed husband as Danam. So Patni Danam is also so great, Rama, that is how Tara lamented. Not even 2 months. Vali is dead. Sugriva got the Pattabhishekam. 2 months of rainy season. That lady who cried and cried with Vali's dead body in her lap, begging Rama even to kill her, that she wanted to accompany her husband. Not even 2 months, ended up on the bed of Sugriva. That's what it is. So they are the social traditions during that time. Go ahead, Amma. Next question.
స్వామి,
So Valmiki Ramayana beautifully tells there was no Lakshmana Rekha at all. Rama was not hiding behind a tree to kill Vali. Rama never did Shivapratishtha in Rameshwaram. Kaikeyi is not considered as a jnani in Valmiki Ramayana. Kaikeyi is there cursed by Vasishtha and Sumanta. What kind of a wretched woman are you? Dasharatha did not get moksham. That is the greatness of Sharanagati. People say, oh, we chant Rama, 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 Rama. If you chant Rama, 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 if you think that you can get moksha, that's not Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is much beyond than, way beyond than mere chanting. How many times Dasharatha would have thought of Rama, 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 Rama? Dasharatha did not get moksha. He got only Swargam. How do you know Dasharatha did not get moksha? He got only Swargam? Am I anyone of you?
He came back when he was. He came
Correct.
back.
Then Sita Devi did Agni Pravesham. All the Devi Devatas descended onto the planet Earth, including Brahma, Shankara, Indra. Along with Indra, Dasharatha also came and said, Rama, I am in Swargalokam. Even though Indra has given me half his seat, royal throne, Arthasimhasanam, I am not happy there, Rama, because you are not there with me. Had Dasharatha got Vaikuntham, yad gatva nanivartante tadhama paramam mama. Madhurima, how come you are not joining the nighttime Bhagavad Gita sessions, Madhurima? You know Bhagavad Gita so well. Try to chant, try to join, Madhurima. Your time 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., New York time 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. We do Bhagavad Gita every day. Please join and help us to chant. Sometimes there'll be only 4 people, sometimes there'll be 12 people, 14 people like that, but please join. So we know from that, Yad Gatva Nanivartante Tadhama Paramam Mama. Going where we will never come back is Vaikuntham. Had Dasharatha got moksham, he would have never come back. And Dasharatha himself says, I am in Swargaloka, even though Indra has given me half his kingdom, Simhasanam, Ardha Simhasanam. I'm not happy there, Rama, he says. So that's what we understand. Go ahead, sir. Next question. Anything else I can help you, ma? Hello?
Yeah, sure, Swamiji. I will join Swamiji. Somehow the unmute button didn't work. I have to rejoin Swami.
Go ahead, ma. Any other questions you have, ma'am?
I didn't, Swamiji. Small question, Swamiji. Just somebody would means can just a request, Swamiji. Can you explain that? There are explained that about our lineage of the Ahobila from the Vedanta Desham, Swamiji. Just a lineage.
The lineage. After Vedanta Deshika, the Sri Vaishnava Sampradayam started with Mahatma Vedanta Deshika's first disciple becoming a sannyasi and starting Parakala Matam, Brahma Tantra Swatantra Swami. So the first Vadagalai Sharanagati propagating Matam was Parakala Matam. And about 100 years or so after Parakala Matam has started, there was a young boy called Srinivasa from Melkote. He got a dream where Lakshmi Narasimha asked him to come to Ahobilam and become a sannyasi. We are talking 650 years back in India. where Ahobilam is a forest area inhabited by lions and tigers. Nrsimha's Avirbhavam is up the hill. People lived only down the hill called Lower Ahobilam, Upper Ahobilam. Like Upper Tirupati, Lower Tirupati. Upper Tirupati is called Tirumala, Lower Tirupati is Tirupati. Upper Ahobilam where Lakshmi Nrsimha's Avirbhavam in the temple, Lower Ahobilam where people resided. People used to go there only at 10 a.m. That too, quite a big gathering, beating the drums, etc., so that lions and tigers will just, for the sound, will go away into the forest. And go there quickly, make some prasadam, do the offering, do the puja, and leave by 3 o'clock and come down before it is dark. But this little young boy of 20 went all alone to Ahobilam, up hills, and was there searching. Nobody was there, nobody was there. So finally he begged, Swami, you asked me to come. What am I to do? All of a sudden, somewhere from nowhere, a sannyasi appears there, asks Srinivasa to come and take a bath in that Bhavanashini Pushkarani, and gave him the saffron robes, and he disappeared. Again, when he is called Adivan Shatagopa, the first Jira of Ahobilamutam. And when he was there praying, Swami, you gave me sannyasam, what am I to do? Sri Padukam Chintasuttam Ramancha Grameshu Sancharasi Bhakti Parasha Yajnaihi. There are 9 Narasimha Kshetras in Ahobilam, Nava Narasimha Kshetras. One of them is called Malola. The Mula Vigraham was there, the small Utsa Vigraham came flying into the hands of Adivan Shatagopa and said he came with Padukas and with Chanchalakshmi and said, take me from village to village to propagate Sharanagati. So that is the first year. And Adiyan's Acharya is the 44th year, who is a Mahatma, who had the vision of Lord Ranganatha in his dream, asking him to construct to do the Rajagopura Kainkaryam in Sri Rangam. At a very ripe age of 80, Acharya took up that Kainkaryam. Those days it was more than 2 crores of rupees. Now it will be more than 2,000 crores and completed. And that Jayer is the Mahatma who asked us to build a temple in New York, Sri Vaishnava Siddhantam, to propagate, etc. That's how it is. Go ahead, Amma. Next question. Amma, no questions, Amma, anyone of you?
Thank you so much.
All right, Amma. This afternoon, I'm in